Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. This weekend has been particularly busy. I previewed for you earlier some results of a local garage sale, and I thought I would share with you a flea market find that's really a combination of two purchases. One of them was a local flea market that had one fella selling quite a bit of quality equipment at what I'll call well-bought pricing. And the other one was chasing down a reel that I learned to fish with in my childhood. It happened to show up on Facebook Marketplace, and I made a purchase on that as well. So why don't we get started? This is going to be a project preview as well. We'll talk about some of those that I intend to do as a video to enhance your viewing pleasure, if you will. But let's start with the reel that I grew up fishing with as a kid. So, circa 1958 is when I started learning how to surf cast. My dad bought one of these. It's the Centauri. It's French, I'm sure. It's French. It's made in France. Centauri. Not sure what that means, but it's the Pacific model. The one that I learned to fish on had a half bail. This one has a full bail. This one's in very nice condition. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was just one of those things where you just said, you know what, these don't come along that frequently. This one looked very good. It's operational in all regards. It has I'm assuming a big drive. We're going to take this apart and figure it out, but this is sort of the old override system that a damn quick reel would use. It's got a vented spool. Again, the paint is in very good condition. There is some spool rub on there. That you can tell that this oil spot has been kind of buggered up a little bit. But you know what? I just don't find these. I haven't seen them around. Saw this one and just figured I would kind of relive my dad teaching us how to fish along the New Jersey coast. I didn't do well with the reel, I will tell you that, but I eventually learned how to master that. So we're going to do a video on this one, and I will show you what this reel is about. That fellow also had a Penn spinfisher. So what the heck, we might as well do a 2-for-1, right? He had the Penn spinfisher 700. This is the big one. This one's got a lot of salting on it. I took the line off of it. Has a lot of salting, but otherwise it's working, and that's always important. And the bail looks like it's probably bent down a little bit, but other than that, it has a bent bail wired. It doesn't fire back. We can fix that. And I'm going to check my library to see if I've actually done the 700. This is an early one. Doesn't have the badge with the fish jumping on it, the bronze bail. But everything else is in good condition. The reel seat is fine. The handle is strong. The metal, for the most part, the paint is nice, other than where the salt is accumulated from the line sitting on there for quite some time. And these are one of the first of those spinfisher reels that got big. This competed against the Mitchell 302, and this one was made in the U.S. Of course, Mitchell 302s were made in France. So probably do this one, but I'm going to go back and check. Might do this just to show you how to fix a bail. I have done a video on that. It's a very popular video on my site about how to fix a bail that won't fully trip. And this one's not fully tripping, which usually means that this bail wire is bent. So we'll go work on that one as well. Next up, there were a couple of 302s from a local flea market. Now here in New Jersey, the flea market's just started opening up again. So we're finding vendors that probably haven't sold from March through June, July. And we're starting to see some of these things come out. This one is tied up, so I can't tell you all of it, but the paint on this one is nice. The bail is worn, but other than that, it's good. So there were 3 of these in the bundle that I made the purchase on from him, and it's interesting that all 3 are a little bit different. So here's a Garcia Mitchell 302, and noticeably from that is the oil hole is not there. So there were various iterations of the 302 come along. This one had the oil filler, was just a Mitchell, was not a Garcia Mitchell. This was a Garcia Mitchell. I believe those are the earlier ones, but I'd have to go back and check. Let's see, I got a serial number on it. Do I have the serial number? I have a serial number, but I can't see it. And then I got a third one here, and this one is in nice condition like the other one is. The bale is in a little bit better condition. Fully wrapped with new line. Something going on a reel seat, I don't know in terms of if it was mounted to the rod and it picked up some paint from the rod, or if somebody did a touch-up. And this one has a little bit of a different handle as well. All three of these work, and I've done some videos on the 302s, but I'll go back and check and see if there's any value I can add from that. Next up then is one that I know Chris is going to like. This one came in the same series as the Century and the Penn. This is the Garcia Mitchell 488. This is the biggest of the reels. You might want to say they don't get any bigger than this. This is huge. It's a high-speed reel. It's got the coffee grinder handle. This one I think may have been repainted, because I'm looking on the rotor here and I see a drip. It's kind of settled up there. And that usually tells me that it's been repainted. If it was repainted, it was repainted a long time ago. That's for sure. There's a lot of patina and wear and greasing and the like. But you can also see it here. It's maybe a little bit difficult to see. But there is a little bit of a wave going on here. And that wouldn't have come out of the factory that way to my knowledge. So this one is, that was tested. It works nicely. It's a huge reel for surf fishing or trolling, and I'll probably get around to doing a video on this. Now, when I show you these reels that come from the fishing flea markets, those go to the back of my priority. Obviously, I do reel repair for customers, and they always take the center stage in terms of timeliness and turnaround. So it may or may not be soon, but when I get around to it, we will be making videos on these. And then the flea market vendor who had the 302s had this one. And this is what started my whole conversation. This one, I believe, is one of the best saltwater reels ever made. This one is going to go back fishing, but it's going to go back fishing with me. I've been personally looking for this one for some time now. A nice example of one. And I found it. And even though I'm not a fan of the level line feature, I am a fan of the Ambassadors. This is the Ambassador 7000. This is probably one of the sturdiest and best performing reels that were ever made under the Ambassador name. So I don't think I've done a 7000. I'm going to check. This one's a beauty. You can tell by the paint. There's some limited corrosion on the back, but the side plates are solid. The handle is good. There is a little bit of scarring on the handle, but short of that, this one's going to go fishing, so it won't be a shelf sitter, so I don't care that much about the cosmetics. But of course, you do like a nice clean reel to start with, and this one is a nice clean reel. And then finally, in that bundle that I bought a Penn. And just because it was there, and I know that as I recondition these, generally they're an easy sell to somebody looking for the old Gold Series. This one's bottoming out. You can hear it on the downstroke of the spool. You can actually see the spool wobble a little bit. That generally means that Teflon washer that's under the drive has come loose, gotten worn, is not there, whatever. That's generally an easy fix. And this one's missing its badge. So a lot of folks say I can't identify the reel, it's missing its badge. Sometimes on the black and gold series, which replaced the greenies. So these parts are almost identical in these reels, different reels. But if you had this reel and you had it in the green version, they're almost identical except for the paint. A lot of times the model was on here, but they get scuffed off. And you say, well, gee, what reel is this? Well, this is the 710. And if you had any question about whether it is a 710 or not, or what it was, generally speaking, if you remove this side plate, which only has the single screw, I don't know if a vendor would let you do this, but why not ask them? You remove the side plate, and there it is. So this one's got a lot of gunk and gook in it, and I'm not sure if I did a 710. I think I did, but if I didn't, I'll do one. And then this one says on the side plate here, you might be able to see it, it says 710. So that's a good way to identify the model if you've lost that little badge. And I think if you're restoring the reel, I think there's folks out there that actually sell those badges, replicas badges, if you wanted to put it back on. I generally don't do that. The same thing happens with these. If you lose those badges, if you have the decals on the side, and you want to restore a particular reel, there are folks that do sell the Ambassador decals and side stamps and the like for that, if you were so inclined to do that. I'm not. I'm more about repairing reels, making them fishing worthy, and ready to go. So before I go, I want to thank all of our first responders, essential personnel, healthcare workers, law enforcement providers, healthcare providers, EMTs, and everybody who's had a role in keeping us safe and healthy during this pandemic. Your efforts truly are appreciated. Without you, we would be in far worse shape. So thank you for all it is that you do, and thanks for watching. If you've been watching these, I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending it kind of as a diversion, watching these things that I do on the YouTube. So if you like it, please comment. If you want to see any of these done, leave a note in those comments. If you want to see more of these and you want to make sure you don't miss any of these that get done, please subscribe. That way you'll get to see all of the ones that I post, and I do post frequently. And finally, if you have a reel that needs to be repaired, you're not up for doing it yourself, and you want to send it in, well then just contact me by email on the business card that follows, and I will be happy to provide you with that repair information. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please stay healthy, and have a great day.